Gurudev, day 23. Rishis had attached special significance to yajna because it was helpful not only in material progress but also in emancipation of the soul and building peaceful atmosphere by purifying mind and body. Balivesh yajna used to be performed in every house for promoting devoutness, spirituality and deity in the family. Bajpayee yajnas were performed for awakening the dormant spiritual, intellectual, and moral consciousness of the masses. For solving national and international problems, Rajasuya and Ashwamedh yajnas were performed. Gayatri yajna is regarded as the quintessence of all kinds of yajnas. Of all the Vedas, Rig Veda is the first to come into existence. In its first mantra, Agni Mide Purohitam, fire has been described as the first name of God. Everything which is worth attaining in human life can be achieved through the power of Agni, which has been described as Purohit, religious priest. God, being omnipresent, has no form, but he can be experienced in the form of divine attributes of Sat, Chit and Anand. There can be no better symbol of God than fire, and it is for this reason that God has been described as divine fire in the first mantra of Rig Veda. He is also called Brahma Tejas, latent light, divine light, holy light, etc. The ancient Indian masters were therefore called fire worshippers by several noted research scholars. Aryans who lived in Iran and called themselves as Parasis also worshipped fire. Fire temples are their places of worship. In India, fire is worshipped in volcanic mountains in the northern region. In Rishi ashrams, fire was kept alive through perpetual fumigation known as dhuni. Panchagani used to be installed in all Vedic karma kanda and daily yajna used to be performed. Thus, Agnihotra is nothing but symbolic worship of God in the form of fire. Why do we regard the sacrificial fire of yajna as Purohit? It inspires us to imbibe 5 idealistic qualities in our life. Fire has the characteristic of being hot and bright. We are inspired to lead bright, radiant, active lives like fire, full of wisdom and brilliance. The flame of fire always goes upwards. One must apply any amount of pressure, but its flame never goes downwards. It teaches us that despite immense pressures of fear and temptations, our flame of wisdom and foresight should always keep alight and upturned. Anything comes in contact with fire becomes fire itself. We should always have a quality of excellence in our character so that anyone coming in our contact may become refined. Fire accumulates nothing. Whatever is offered in the fire is vaporized. It is scattered throughout in the atmosphere and becomes universal. We should also not accumulate possessions for our selfish ends, but utilize all resources and qualities for advancing the good of people. We should be generous and lovingly kind. The residues of fire are ashes. Ultimately, physical forms of all human beings are going to be reduced to a handful of ashes. The idea behind applying ashes of yajna on the forehead is that man should always remember that inevitability of death and utilize each and every moment of his life in this best possible manner. These 5 teachings are known as Panch Agni Vidya, which is the priest in the form of fire teaches to every human being. A man is truly blessed if he imbibes these teachings in his daily life by performing symbolic worship in the form of yajna. The real purpose of yajna is to imbibe virtues like self-sacrifice, self-restraint, sanyam, charity, beneficence, generosity, compassion, etc. in our daily life. It inspires us to surrender everything, body, mind, ego and soul to God. A sadhak, on surrendering himself to God, who has been described as a yajna purush in the scriptures, becomes one with yajna, just as samidhas, on being consumed in the sacrificial fire of yajna, becomes fire itself. In fact, the real yajna is to follow the directions and inspirations of our indwelling divinity and imbibe righteous tendencies. Constant remembrance of the divine, keeping an attitude of detachment and remaining engrossed in regular sacred duties and devotions amounts to lead a yagi life. Such person sees the presence of God in everyone, everywhere, and becomes free of evil deeds and sins. Gita describes several categories of yajna, such as Dev Yajna, Atma Yajna, Brahma Yajna, Tappa Yajna, Yoga Yajna, Swadhyaya Yajna, Gyan Yajna, etc., and enunciates that whatever is done for realization of God or for self realization is known as yajna. Agnihotra, or performance of material part of the yajna, is a first step which culminates in the form is the ultimate goal of spiritual yajna. In the beginning, a sadhak starts with symbolic idol worship, but after some practice, he starts meditating on the formless, omnipresent Brahma. Yajna is a specific and inseparable part of Gayatri Sadhana, which purifies a person's thoughts, emotions, sentiments, and actions to be able to surrender himself at the lotus feet of the Almighty and become Yagmaya, or one with God. In short, it promotes virtues like beneficence, mutual cooperation, righteousness, goodwill, self restraint, sacrifice, and generosity. Distribute this divine prasad to others. It is considered to be a part of sacred ritual to distribute prasad among all the devotees after the worship. Panchamrit and Panjiri are distributed after Satnarayan Katha. At the end of each yajna, some sweet meat is distributed to the participants. Offerings which are made to deity after worship, yajna, kirtan, bhajan, etc., and which are later distributed among the devotees are known as prasad. In temples, where there is a great rush, water mixed with tulsi leaf is distributed as charnamrit as a symbol of divine grace. In short, some prasad is necessary to be distributed after every sacred rite so that all who are present partake of the sanctified vibrations prevailing in the atmosphere. Secondly, it creates faith in the divine presence and feeling of happiness. The recipient is attracted towards inner life, and this attraction ultimately helps in starting spiritual sadhana in right earnest. Teachers of divine knowledge have enjoined that at the end of every sacred rite, prasad should be distributed so that the feeling of nobility and piety may spread. Gayatri Sadhana is a yajna. To make offerings of samagri in the sacrificial fire is a physical ritual, karmakand. Awakening the presence of divinity within ourselves through self-surrender is subtle yajna, which is much more important than the physical yajna. The distribution of prasad should also be kept in keeping the importance of this real yajna. This purpose cannot be severely served merely by distribution of sweets like revdi, batasha, laddu, halwa, etc. Prasad of Gayatri should be such that the soul of a person who partakes it may be fully gratified and he may enjoy divine bliss. Gayatri is Brahma Shakti. Its prasad should be Brahma Prasad, creating an aspiration for leading a life of Brahmasthiti. God-centeredness can be the most befitting prasad to divert a person in the direction of spiritual advancement and inspire him to follow the righteousness is the most befitting prasad. It is the fact that all sources of material and spiritual happiness lie hidden in the inner being of man. Real wealth is not formed in material world. What one finds there is nothing but stones, lifeless objects, and pieces of metal. The real treasure of life lies within in the depths of the soul. If a person happens to have a glimpse of this treasure, draws it out and wisely utilizes it, he is perfectly contented and enjoys eternal bliss. The key to these treasures lie in spiritual sadhana, and of all sadhanas, Gayatri Sadhana is the best. There is no end to the results of these divine powers and its miracles. Nothing can do greater good to a person than to inspire him to follow the path of a sunlit path of sadhana. With the progress in sadhana, sadhak's thoughts, feelings, and actions become more and more refined. Those who come in his contact derive inspiration from his life to follow the righteous path. Happiness and righteousness will also increase in the world at large, and persons who have inspired others to follow spiritual path will naturally get credit for it, although they will never crave for it. A Gayatri sadhak should take a vow that he will distribute this Mahaprasad, Brahma Prasad, to to please Bhagavati Gayatri. It is with this motive that this in whom seeds of piety and righteousness have been sown should be approached and explained the importance and secret of Gayatri sadhana. Those who are not yet able to appreciate the importance of spiritual upliftment should be explained in detail material benefits accruing from Gayatri sadhana, and relevant literature published in Akhand Jyoti should be read over to them. In this way, they should be attracted towards this sadhana, and although in the beginning they might take shelter of Ved Mata Gayatri only for fulfillment of their worldly desires, in the long run they will pursue the sadhana for their spiritual upliftment. A cart, howsoever slow its speed, ultimately reaches its destination once put on the right track. This Brahma Prasad is far more important than the ordinary material prasad. Let us therefore distribute this Brahma Prasad by all means, money, material, service, talents, etc. at our disposal and earn the grace of Ved Mata. Foundation of a new era. Gayatri is known as Adi Shakti, and because Brahma, who was born from the navel lotus of Vishnu, was directed to take support of this Maha Mantra for creation, Brahma worshipped it and performed tap and brought forth all animate and inanimate creation. This great power will now be known as the power of new golden era, because the deadly poisons permeating the atmosphere, environment, minds and hearts of human beings can be neutralized only with the help of sadhana, collective sadhana of this mantra. The new era is also descending in the form of pragya, enlightened intelligence, movement or pragya avatar. The next era will be known as Pragya Yug, era of enlightenment. It's also going to be called Satyug. What will prevail in the new era, what ideologies will be adopted, have all been described in detail in Gayatri Gita, Gayatri Smriti and Gayatri Manjari, which have been incorporated in Hindi edition of Gayatri Mahavigyan Part 2. The sum and substance of this enunciation is that people of the world will soon live like one family. They will emerge one unifying spiritual vision, making the earth a happy home for all the people and nations of the world, united in universal love, understanding and goodwill. It will be true unity in diversity. Sovereign nation states will become obsolete. None will be poor or rich. This earth is a mother of all. All humankind will unite together to use its bounties. Glaring economic and social disparities will be eradicated. Everybody will get according to his needs and will have to work according to his capacity. Everyone will live on his own self-earned income. Nobody will subsist on ill-begotten money. None will get an opportunity to give unearned wealth through inheritance and indulge in righteous merrymaking. No country will be allowed to subjugate a neighboring country to fulfill its selfish end. This one world organization will have a combined judicial system, and there will be one peacekeeping force directly under the global development. Disputes will be settled by panchayats. It will be the duty of global government to check any infringement of universally accepted and acclaimed laws of harmonious collective living. Immorality, atrocities, blind faith, evil traditions, foolishness, etc. will become things of the past. Nothing will be required to indulge in litigation to get justice. Women will command greater respect than men. Family planning will be strictly reinforced so that the world population is stabilized. Universal education and health will be responsibility of the state. Old persons will also work in accordance with their capacity. Everyone will have to adopt the principle of simple living and high thinking. Nobody will be allowed to usurp the fundamental rights of anybody else. Culprits will be given exemplary deterrent punishment. People will earn money for livelihood in a limited time. The rest of the time will be utilized in self-refinement and in rendering selfless service for the good of others. Retirement will not mean a permit for idleness. Not only his family but society as a whole will get benefit of the wisdom and talents of an old person. Scientific discoveries will be applied more in the field of spiritual upliftment rather than for increase of physical and material well-being. Spiritual super science will get preference over material science. This prediction of the advent of new golden era is foretold in scriptures of the world and has been foreseen by the seer vision of mystic masters around the world.